N-E-W-S.
An update from yesterday's overnight underground news blip. Vietnam has deported the Kim Jong-un impersonator. All this ahead of the Trump summit with the real Korean leader next week. Howard X, the impersonator in question, was given his walking papers by Hanoi after the impersonator held a fake summit with Trump impersonator Russell White last week. Howard X, the Kim Jong-un impersonator, had this to say at a news conference before being deported.
The real reason was basically, born with a face looking like Kim Jong-un. That's the real crime. I feel a little bit, annoyed, but what is to be expected of a one-party state with no sense of humor?
What about two-party states with no sense of humor? President Trump said this over the weekend regarding his upcoming meeting with the real Kim.
We're going to have, I think, a very interesting 2.5 days in Vietnam, and we have a chance for the total denuclearization of an area of the world that was very dangerous. Now there's no testing, there's no rockets, there's no nuclear testing, and we get along well, very well.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is just such an easy target. The congresswoman suggested over the weekend, in between lots of likes, knows, and that because climate change is set to obliterate the world, young people should consider not having children.
There's scientific consensus that the lives of children are going to be very difficult. And it does lead, I think, young people to have a legitimate question. Is it okay to still have children?
Maybe she could set an example. We could all be better off if she doesn't breed. AOC also took time out to slam the leader of her own party. AOC barked back at Senator Dianne Feinstein's response to pressure from AOC's supporters to get behind the socialist Green New Deal. Feinstein said, "I've been doing this for 30 years. I know what I'm doing." AOC's retort?
I don't think that working on an issue for 30 years alone is what qualifies, is what makes someone qualified to solve an issue.
Whatever. Bloomberg is reporting that the Green New Deal would cost taxpayers in the neighborhood of, give or take a few shekels, $93 trillion. In other AOC news, we learned this weekend that the swamp freshman now has her very own comic book, giving new meaning to the phrase, "We'll see you in the funny papers." In news that should shock absolutely no one, President Trump is now the target of new allegations of sexual misconduct. A former campaign staffer, Elva Johnson, alleges that Trump laid a wet one on her without her consent. The Washington Post is reporting that the allegedly unwanted smooch happened back in 2016 in Tampa. Anybody remember this?
I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there, and she was married. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy.
It's not the first time for the Trumper to be the target of sexual allegations. Back in 2017, The Guardian reported that 20 women had accused Trump of misconduct. Now, let's state the obvious. San Francisco is an expensive city to live in. GoBankingRates.com reports that if you earn $192,000 a year in the city by the Bay, it's still not enough to be considered middle class. San Franciscans, look at it this way. It may be expensive to live in your beautiful city, but you get all the vagrant feces you could ever need on just about any city block. A dead humpback whale in the middle of a jungle? It's more likely than you think. Biologists in Brazil are scratching their heads over the mystery of a humpback whale carcass and how it ended up 50 feet from shore in the Amazon jungle. The Brazilian scientists, yes, we know that's a lot of scientists, found the whale after noticing a flock of vultures circling the carcass. The scientists in question are also puzzled about the potted petunia found nearby and a note that read, "Oh no, not again."
N-E-W-S.